Hey, what's going on, Rockstars? Welcome back on the channel. Monday again, February 3rd, 2025. And I want to make a video about marketing and selling product faster in a manner that some people would say is not moral, is not legal, is scamming. But in reality, it's perfectly okay. And I want to talk about that and share an actual story with you that is incredible. But first, yesterday's video, man. Some people, and it's evident in the comment section of yesterday's video, if you missed it, about the tariffs, there's been an update. I just want to update you guys quick about it, and we'll move on to this video. The United States and Mexico have come to an agreement with the border and tariffs and troops. You can go read about that. I'm not going to get into it in here, but yesterday's video, people were blasting in the comments. I even had to delete some of them, which I never delete comments because they were just way over the top. Are so angry with the current administration, which is fine, and you're right to that opinion. And I started my whole video with, I don't like any politicians. I don't agree with everything any of them do or say. And people still went off the rails at me. So when you guys are listening to a video, please take a breath. And this goes for anything in the world that you're dealing with, whether it's Facebook or social media or YouTube or even out in real life. Just take a breath and be kind to each other, because holy crap, some of you have so much built up anger. It's unbelievable that you function out in the world like you do. You just can't see past the end of your own nose to even listen to what people are saying or talk or discuss. How we got here is unfathomable. But anyways, that's my PSA for the day. Today's video: scamming, scheming, and tricking buyers into buying more products from your eBay store or Amazon or wherever it is that you sell. So we all know that the economy is not great and buyers are not spending money the way that they normally would or that they have in the past. And a lot of people are going to comment on this and go, the economy's just fine. The economy's strong. If it was, and it may be for some people, but if it truly was, people would have the ability to spend more money than they're spending right now. And they're not. We wouldn't even have to have that discussion. But I don't want to get into the politics of that. I'm just saying there's not as much splurge, frugal, or splurge and frivolous spending, frivolous spending going on as there used to be. So that means that it's difficult to convince buyers to buy our merchandise. Even if you have really good items, that will make you sell faster. Of course, that's the obvious answer. But there's even times when that's not enough because people want a deal. People want to buy this stuff, but they want to feel like they're getting a deal. Even if they're not getting the best deal, they want to feel like they're getting some kind of a deal, right? People want to feel like they won, like they ended up on the top of the negotiation or the deal making. And even having the best of the best items at a great price, you got to do something more. And so let me give you a few examples. One, we've all watched TV and we've seen the Ford dealership down the street go, hey guys, Memorial Day weekend, only 3 days, come in and save $10,000 on your favorite Ford truck. Well, that's not what's really happening, right? Like, you're not walking in and they're just slashing $10,000 off the price of a new truck. They're giving you tax incentives and go green incentives and rebates from the manufacturer and slashed $3,000 off the MSRP when in reality they already jacked it up $3,000, right? That's how they get you through the door. Save $10,000. And what do? You come in and go, well, let's look at a new truck. They're $10,000 off. And that works. And that's an extreme example because, cars are one of the most expensive things we buy other than our houses. Even home buyers and home sellers do the same thing. In our neighborhood, for example, when they were selling off one section of the new corner houses, they actually did a buy a house by the end of the month, close on your house, and get a free $10,000 golf cart. I know that sounds crazy. The golf carts in this neighborhood are like $10,000 to $15,000. They're stupid expensive, but everybody in this neighborhood wants a golf cart because of our neighborhood and our amenities. And it's a big expense. When you're buying a house, you're already spending a lot of money on your down payment, your closing costs, your furniture, your moving expenses. A lot of people move from out of state. Spending 10, 15 grand on a golf cart is usually not in the budget. So they would lure people in with this. And so the point of all of this is that if you want to bring in buyers, you need to do something to bring them in. So when you're selling on eBay, free shipping is one of those things. A lot of people see free shipping and it works. I know a ton of you have a huge, you're against free shipping like tooth and nail. You're like, I'm charging for shipping. If you do free shipping and you know how to price your items correctly to cover the shipping, it's a huge incentive. It's a huge winner. we've tested it till the end of Kingdom Come, and it really does help. We've taken people's stores who don't do free shipping. We've done free shipping, and their sales drastically improve. Very, very, very rarely, based on the items and the store and the type of things that people are doing, it can work against them, but that's hardly ever. Most times, if you're somebody who does charge shipping and you change to free shipping, you will see positive results, and you will see more profit over volume, over sales, versus what you may or may not lose in your shipping costs, which you shouldn't lose any anyways, because you should be pricing them according to what it will cost to ship those items. The second thing we do on eBay, of course, is to promote it, but that doesn't show to the buyer something to draw them in. They might see that promoted sponsored tag on it, but that's not actually doing anything for your buyer. You know what I mean? Like when you see a huge sale, you're like, oh, I got to go as a sale, but that guy's promoting his listings. That doesn't do anything. So we move to the markdown sale, and the markdown sale is what's super important here. And this is the biggest one. As far as free shipping goes, yeah, I'm highly in favor of free shipping, especially on anything under a pound or two. But markdown sales is where I think sellers win. Let me give you a great example. And this has nothing to do with eBay, but it has to do with something I was selling. I had an item. It was a digital product. It was $50. And I ran a 20% off sale for $40, $10 off, get it for 40. And people bought it. I sold quite a few and people were loving it. And it was $40. And they were like, oh, this is awesome, right? A couple of weeks goes by. I don't promote it. I don't market it. Let it go, whatever. I put it up for $100, double the price I had it for originally. And I ran a 50% off sale, which brings it back to $50. I must have sold 100 in like 2 days. No kidding. And I'm like, man, people could have got this 2 weeks ago or a week ago for $40 because it was 20% off the $50. But instead, as soon as I said 50, half off, 50% off, they bought it, even though it cost the original price. It cost more than they could have got it for on the previous sale. And that really stuck with me because I was like, man, it wasn't about how much the people were paying or were willing to pay. It was about what their perceived value was, what they thought they were getting, what deal they thought they were achieving through a 50% off sale. So I go back to years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and I was coaching and doing store reviews, and I see a ton of store reviews with a ton of markdown sales. And I did a young lady who sold a lot of shoes. She had like 900,000 pairs of shoes. That's all she dealt in. And her shoes were grossly overpriced. She had a pair of Red Wing boots at the time. They were probably worth about $50, $60. They were solid Red Wing boots. She paid like $6 for them. She got a deal at a yard sale or something. And they were priced at $150. And I was like, whoa, girl, like what is going on? These are crazy expensive. Your prices are nuts. She goes, well, I run a 60% off sale of everything. So 60% off would bring those $150 boots down to $60, which is about what they were worth. They were probably worth about $50, $60, which is a fair value. Every time she did it, which was almost nonstop, her shoes would she would sell 30, 40, 50 pairs of shoes in just a couple of days over a weekend. It was bonkers. And it wasn't because she was the cheapest, and it wasn't because she had the best feedback or the best shoes. It's because she had the best perceived sale value. People thought, wow, I'm getting these boots for 60% off. And something in their brain just snapped. And I shared that story with a few people back then. I may have even mentioned it in a video, and people said, well, that's not right. That's wrong. In fact, that's illegal. First of all, it's not illegal to jack a price up and put it down on sale. There are laws against that in retail settings, brand new brick mortar, even in some online settings. But on used goods, it's absolutely, you can do what you want. You can price a used item any price you want and put it on sale anytime you want. And even the rules on brand new stuff and brick and mortar and the other things, which I've shared before, are very, very specific. And generally, you can do it on that stuff as well. There's a few things you have to keep in mind on that. I'll try to find that story and link it below. But then people said, okay, it's not illegal. You can do it, but that's immoral. It's wrong to trick your buyers like that. Is it? Am I tricking them? Or am I just pricing an item and running a sale, and it's them, it's the buyer's brain, the buyer's mentality that's convincing them to buy my product? I didn't put a pew-pew to their head, pew-pew. I didn't put anything to their head and force them to buy from me. I didn't put anything to their head and tell them, well, don't buy it when it's normally priced at 50. Buy it when I put it up for 120 and on sale for 50% off to 60, and all of a sudden you paid more because you weren't smart enough to realize that the sale that was 20% was cheaper than the sale that was 60% or 50% simply because manipulating numbers, right? And people are like, well, yeah, you manipulated the numbers. I priced it what I felt like pricing at that day, and the buyer chose to buy it. It was their decision. And so that's where I think if you've got to run sales at 60% off and jack your prices up, and if that works, I'm not telling anyone to do this. I'm saying if you want to test it and you want to try that out, I would love to hear your results. I'd love to hear if anybody's currently doing that already before watching this video. And if you decide to do it with this video, what you jacked your prices up to and what you put them down on. Now, remember, you can't balk edit by a certain percentage because everything's a different price. For example, if you have a $50 item and you balk edit it by 100% increase, it's going to go to $100. But if you do that same thing on like a $120 item, it's going to go up to $240. And then when you run your sale, just remember the math and the percentages aren't exact based on different items. You have to keep track of what you're doing. So what she would do is the young lady with the shoes, she would just price items super high. And she would always price them at like double what she actually wanted. So she could always run a 50 or 60% off sale. So if she knew an item was worth $60, it literally went into her store at 120. She never messed with it. It only got messed with when she ran those sales. And that was crazy. And even when she didn't have sales on, people would make her offers on her $120 boot. She'd get an offer of like $75. She'd be like, oh, that's more than I was going to let it go for on sale. Boop, accept offer. And people were like thinking they got a great deal because they talked her down, $45, $50. And she's like, okay, it worked. Again, if you want to test it, don't say that I ruined your store if you go mess with everything, but I'm just saying it's an option. And I'm going to leave you guys with one other story about how this worked and what is essentially perceived buyer deals and buyers getting over on a seller, kind of. There was a company back in 2017, Sunnyco bathing suit company or whatever they were. They had a few thousand followers on social media, Instagram. At the time, if you had 100,000 followers in 2017 on Instagram, especially on Instagram, you were doing something. You were big time. Having a couple hundred, nobody even had a million. People were just breaking million, right? Like celebrities. They had a few thousand followers, which was okay. And they sold bathing suits, whatever, 15, 20, 25 bucks. They would sell a few bathing suits every day, couple dozen, 100, whatever. They decided to do a free bathing suit sale. The bathing suit was free. You can have this bathing suit. All you have to do is share our post with your friend, tag your friends, and follow our page. They got 750,000 followers in like a couple of days. 750,000 followers in just a couple of days. You can look this up. I'll try to link it below as well. And they sold tens of thousands of bathing suits for free. But the catch was you had to pay shipping and handling. You guys know where I'm going with this. So the shipping and handling was like $12. Well, after the shipping and after the handling, they were still netting like $6. Well, they sold tens of thousands of bathing suits. Their profit was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in just a week's time, which was more than they made all year on all their bathing suits simply by giving them away for free and charging shipping and handling. Now, people, the buyers, all they can see is, oh my God, I'm getting a free bathing suit. All the ladies and women that bought, it was women's bathing suits. I'm getting a free bathing suit. Holy crap. Go to the screen. Oh, I got to pay the shipping and handling. No big deal. That's how the buyer's brain works. And unfortunately, this sounds terrible. If you want to be successful, whether it's selling cars, selling houses, which I gave examples of, selling bathing suits, or selling used or goods on eBay or Amazon or Posh, you got to do something to incentivize the buyer because they want to be lured in. Buyers want to be grabbed. They want a deal. And so that's my advice to you guys. Find a way to stand out. Find a way to grab your buyer and find a way to close the deal. ABC, always be closing. Always close deals. And if you're going to close a deal, you got to give them a deal. If you don't got a deal, how can you close a deal if the buyer's not getting a deal? That's a lot of deals. Say that 3 times fast. Anyhow, that's my video. That's my speech for the day. I hope that this means a little something to you. If you have an interesting or out-of-the-box way of marketing or selling, feel free to leave it down in the comments section. If you don't want to give up your secret, that's cool too. But if you have some ideas that people can use, maybe it will help them get their store and their juices flowing as well. As always, thank you for watching the channel. I appreciate it. February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hitting that like button. It really helps me. If this video helps you sell more and helps you learn, if you could do that for me, it helps the algorithm. It means a lot to me. And subscribe. Come back and watch future videos. I'll be putting them out all week, all month, and all year long. Take care, everybody. Check out the links down below in the description box, and I'll see you next time.